What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Realistic Career Mode with Wrexham. This is episode number 32, and we're properly back now. And I'm glad to be back and hopefully regular uploading with this series. I'm absolutely loving this series. I'm enthralled with it, and it's good to see you guys enjoying it too. So we are just one game away from entering the January transfer window, and it is a big game as well. Burton away at the Brewers, who are just two places behind us, 4 points behind us, as we hold that last playoff spot. In the last game, we won two of our three games, losing to Bristol Rovers at the end there, and those two wins are actually only our second and third wins in the last 11 games. So we're on a bit of a downward spiral right now, but we're looking to bring it back, and then hopefully in January bring in some new faces to help us with this promotion push. In terms of transfer business as well, Jamie Jones and Andy Cannon signed pre-contracts to leave at the end of the season when their contracts are up. Cannon will be going to Turkey, whilst Jones will be going to France. So don't mind them heading out. We've got some other players as well leaving in January whose contracts are expiring, and then we gave O'Connell a new contract as well. So still a few players to decide what we're going to do with them before their contracts are up. But for now, let's focus on this game, and it is Burton. We lost 1-0 to the Brewers back in September. This is a huge game in the race for the playoffs. We have that 4-point gap over Birmingham and Burton, but we can't afford to be losing and dropping points to the teams around us. Well, we did make 5 changes going into this game, but unfortunately, it was a pretty dead game. Mullin had probably the best chance of the game in the first half. The ball fortunately bounced to him, but I accidentally pressed the lob shot button. So he just did a little lofted shot, which the Burton goalkeeper saved very easily, Jamal Blackman. And that was it, really. The game ended 0-0 without a win in 2 now, but it is a clean sheet. So we will take that as we see the table here. After that kind of boring 0-0, we remain 6th. We have just a 2-point lead over Birmingham now, who won their game. And we are a point behind Wigan and Derby. We are 11 points adrift of the top 2. So it's looking more and more likely that we are going to be battling for the playoffs rather than automatic promotion, which, hey, look, I'm here for a scrap, let's do it, bring it on. Well, before we head into that second game against Derby, we have some big transfer business now, and I don't really know what's happened here. So as we mentioned, Jones and Cannon signed pre-contracts, as did O'Connor a few episodes ago. I don't know what's happened with the game, if it's bugged or what, but basically they were all supposed to leave at the end of the season. They have all left now when the January transfer window is opened, which I don't really know what that's about. I don't know why that's happened, or if anyone else has experienced that bug in the game. Let me know in the comments if you have. But as we look at the transfer budget now, we're just shy of £1 million, but we've just lost 5 players. 2 of them were players that we knew will go in. Young went to Rotherham, and Lainton went to Colchester, I believe. Cheltenham. But the other 3 players, Jones, Cannon, and O'Connor, all should have left at the end of the season. And now, as we look at the squad, we have barely a squad. We have the 18 and then 3 reserves, and that's it. So we're going to have to make some moves in the January transfer window, bring in some players off the free agency market, maybe get some loanees as well, because we've just lost 4 midfielders. So I think we only have 2 midfielders, then one backup midfielder. So I was a bit panicked because I was expecting most of those players to leave at the end of the season. Unfortunately, they've left in January, so we've got some business to do. Well, luckily, I had an idea of some players that I wanted to bring in already, and we don't mess around with upgrading the squad. First off, we bring in Ismaila Koulibaly, the 24-year-old Mali international who used to play for Sheffield United, although I think he only made 1 appearance for the Blades, so was hardly a seasoned EFL player. But after a loan spell, he was released. He looks like a class centre mid, though, to be honest. 71 rated and can grow at just 24 years old. Good all-round stats and a really good addition. We timed down to a 2-year contract. I think he could be a really good upgrade for George Evans in that DM role eventually. But yeah, very happy with to bring in Koulibaly. And then we add from equality, now we add experience. Alan Brown, who spent the last 10 years with Preston playing nearly 400 EFL games. So we were talking about Koulibaly, who had 1 EFL game. Now we go the other end of the spectrum. Brown with 400 games for Preston. 29 years old, he has a plethora of experience, and it'll be a fantastic to have towards the back end of the season where we're pushing for promotion. So already, yes, we've lost four midfielders. We brought in two, but I think we've upgraded the midfield, to be honest. Koulibaly and Brown, I think, are really good additions. Very happy with those players that we've brought in. And then so we had Anthony Ford and Ryan Barnett, who both are two of our right backs, obviously backups to Cyrus Christie. I was happy for one of them to go and then to give one of them a year extension. We give Barnett a year extension, and then I look to try and include Anthony Ford in a deal where I can sell him off, him plus cash for a backup left back. That way I don't lose him for free in the summer if he goes when his contract expires, and I bring in a backup left back, because at the moment I only have Mendy that can play in that position. Yes, Josh Earl can cover left back, but normally if Mendy's not playing, that means that we're having to rotate the squad, which means I want Earl to have a rest as well, because he is my starting left centre back. So I just thought it was smart to bring in a left back backup, no one too special, but someone that I can offer Anthony Ford plus a bit of cash. And we end up doing that. We went for Lewis Gordon from Bristol Rovers originally. We couldn't afford him. So we looked to go we dip our toes into League Two, and we pick up Harrogate's Matty Folds. 64 rated, so not too bad of a backup left back, playing for Harrogate, who are mid-table in League Two, so he'll be happy with that upgrade. We offered Ford plus £300,000. We eventually agree on a deal where it's Ford and 325,000. So it's a win-win, basically. We bring in a backup left back for Mendy. We get rid of Ford, who means that we don't lose him for free, and everyone's happy. 2-year deal for Folds, and he comes into the side. Now, I forgot to mention, but you would have seen our backup goalkeeper, Bryn Lloyd, came to us and said, "Look, boss, I need out. I'm not playing. I want to move on. I need to be playing regular football," which I was quite surprised considering he's only a youth academy graduate. But maybe the fact that his brother is getting the number one spot is just boiling his blood, and he can't deal with it. So I and I ahed, and I thought, you know what? If he wants to go, I have to let him go. And so we put him off a transfer, and Grimsby come in for the one-to-way keeper. They offer £450,000 and 75,000 over his valuation. In hindsight, I probably should have tried to get more for him, but I just thought, you know what? If he wants to go, we'll let him go. So we accept the bid, and we allow him to potentially move on if he agrees to Grimsby's terms. Well, heading back into the football, and it is a huge game to start off January. Derby in the league, 6th versus 4th, 1 point separating us. And we beat the Rams 1-0 away from home with that killer month that we had. Do you remember where we won 4 games, kept 4 clean sheets, and they were all big opponents as well? Can we complete the double? Well, we make 7 changes to the side that drew with Burton, including a debut for Alan Brown. He is straight into the lineup playing behind Paul Mullin. And just 25 minutes in, well, this was a very, very odd one. We got a penalty. I'm not sure how this was a penalty. Our player was fouled in the box. He went up for a header, completely missed it. His body was just all over the place. And the referee points to the spot. Very fortunate, but we will take it. Mullin converts, of course he does, and bags his 26th league goal of the season. The runaway top goal scorer in this league grabs another one. Well, just before the halftime break, the Rams would level. A really disappointing goal. A cross comes in from the right side. Lloyd just gets a bit disorientated, lets the ball go over him, and the Derby player is there at the back stick to tap in from a yard out, and the Rams are level. Well, we go into the second half, and Derby actually started all right, and then we were testing the keeper, Belabor, forcing a good save from the Derby shot stopper before Rams again try and force this game and turn it on its head, and they do manage to do that with 25 minutes to go. Corner comes in, it's flicked on by a Wrexham head, actually. I think that was Ryan Morris. We can't get the ball clear, and Derby's man gets to the ball, and he fires into the back of the net. And reacting from that, we make a double substitution instantly. We bring on Jewison Bennett and Pritchard. Alan Brown comes off. I wasn't too impressed with his debut, although we did play him in a higher up role, so he might suit a centre mid role more so. in the future? Well, unfortunately, we couldn't find the equaliser. Mullin having probably the best chance of the remainder of the game. A ball laid back to him, and his shot, you could see by his energy bar, he was absolutely knackered. And you could tell that by the finish. The toe poke left foot goes well wide, and we lose this one at home. Unfortunately, it is a defeat, and we are winless in 3 now, as Derby pick up a huge 3 points in what was a massive game. 2 teams in the playoff bracket going against each other. We beat Derby early in the season. They return the favour here at the racecourse, and they pick up a massive 3 points. And maybe it's just a sign that we need to sign up a couple more players, because perhaps the depth just wasn't there. Well, another big comes in for Bryn Lloyd. Bradford come in for him, so we accept that one as well. We'll give the youngster a choice of Grimsby and Bradford. He can choose where he goes. And then Tom Bradshaw comes to us and says, look, boss, I'm happy that I'm getting some games recently, which is, you know what, we're having to rely on his experience. Although Paul Mullin is smashing it right now, the fixtures are coming thick and fast, so we need that rotation in the squad. Well, we see the sad montage of Bryn Lloyd. We walk him out of the stadium. He leaves. He is on his way out. He wanted more football. It's sad because the brothers now split up. Nathan and Bryn, the 2 goalkeepers that we signed from the youth academy, they split up now. Bryn heads to Grimsby in League 2, where hopefully he will get some first-team football. And, you know, who knows? We'll keep an eye on Bryn, and maybe we'll bring him back to the racecourse at some point in this career mode. Well, obviously, with our backup goalkeeper gone, we now don't have a goalkeeper. So there are a few veterans that were free agents that I had my eye on, the likes of Joe Hartway and Hennessy, obviously a Welsh lad, Tom Heaton, Darren Randolph, and Alex Smithies. All towards the back end of their 30s and getting towards 40, apart from Smithies, who is 34. And I thought, you know what? Our backup goalkeeper, we've gone from one end of the spectrum to another. We had youth, a 17-year-old backing up an 18-year-old. Now we're going to go for experience, and Alex Smithies is going to help guide this team, but also help guide Nathan Lloyd as well in net. He is going to guide him and help him as we push for promotion in this side. I'm very happy with this deal, to be honest. Smithies, who's played over 500 games in the EFL, representing 4 big sides. He was released by his latest club, Leicester, at the start of the season in-game. So we snap him up to provide backup, and I'm very happy with this deal, that's for sure. With our remaining cash, we send a scout to Wales for the last 6 months of the season to see if we can pick up any gems, because we have a bit of money, so why not? And we see as the next game is a huge one. FA Cup 3rd round this weekend in real life is the FA Cup 3rd round weekend. A fantastic weekend in the footballing calendar, where the minnows in the lower leagues meet the giants in the top division, and hopefully we see some cup sets. Hopefully we're seeing a cup set today. Leicester, who are back in the Premier League after getting relegated, we face them at the King Power Stadium. What a huge game this is. Although they're struggling in the Premier League, they are a Premier League side. We are a League One outfit. So let's see what we can do here. They did, of course, win this trophy back in the 2020-21 season as well. So they have recent history with this cup competition. Well, we make a bunch of changes, including Alex Smithies, who we just signed on the free agency market. And who was the team that released him? Leicester. Absolutely love this sort of story when you pick up a player and he makes his debut against his former side. And what a game to make it as well. Alex Smithies making his debut for Wrexham against Leicester, the side that released him at the start of this season. Koulibaly also makes his debut in midfield. Brown partners him. Morris in for Bolton, but is a strong side because we have a week until the next fixture. So obviously in the cup games, I rotate because the league is my priority. But when we have a week until the next fixture, there's no real excuse to not pick a pretty strong side. And I didn't just want to go into this game and just accept a defeat and roll over. I felt like we could really give Leicester a go in this one. So we make the changes, but still a relatively strong side. And to be honest, both keepers made really good saves. Smithies making 3 or 4 big saves against his former side. The Leicester keeper also making a couple big saves, but Leicester did have the better of the opportunities. It goes to injury time. It finishes. We end this one 0-0. Smithies picks up a clean sheet on debut against his former side, and we earn ourselves a replay against the mighty Premier League winners from 2016, let's not forget, Leicester City. We will bring them back to the racecourse in a replay, and we would just be 90 minutes or 120 minutes or penalties away from a big cup set and the fourth round of the FA Cup. Don't forget as well, one of the board's objectives is that they want us to reach the round of 16, so I think we have to win 3 more games, which is going to be a tough one for sure, but let's see. Let me know in the comments if you think we're going to beat Leicester in the replay. George Evans weirdly comes to us and says, look, boss, I know what the papers are saying, but I want you to know that I'm your man, and I'm happy to prove myself that I should be earning that position. I think maybe because we brought in 2 midfielders, he might feel threatened, but to be honest, I love Evans in that DM role. He is fantastic, so there's no threat on his position there. As we head back into league form, and well, we are 4 points behind Wigan now. We're still in 6th. We're only a point ahead of Birmingham, 4 behind Wigan, but we do have a game in hand. So we have to take this game in hand against Portsmouth and hope that we can cling on to those playoff spots, because this is a massive one for us. But of course, you won't see that game until the next episode, so didn't want to tease you there. But we do go this episode winless, unfortunately, without a victory now in 4 games in all competitions. But I still feel good, you know. Unfortunately, some players left in the January transfer window, which I thought were going to leave in the summer. But we brought in Koulibaly and Brown and Smithies, and my business is not done there. We also brought in Matty Foles, the left back. I'm looking to bring in a couple more before the window closes. Let me know if there's anyone you think I should sign. But that will be it for today's episode. I hope you're enjoying the series. Drop a like if you are, and I'll catch you in episode 33 very soon.